Hello and welcome to the Friends First Coaching Dating videos. Today I want to talk about a subject called "The map is not the territory." Now you may have come across this phrase, but it's a very, very good phrase indeed. What this phrase means is that the chatter inside our head, that's the map, does not really relate to the territory, to real life. That's the territory, real life being the territory. So what is going on in your head doesn't necessarily mean it is reality out there in the world. If you're anything like me, you have a constant barrage of thoughts, comments, criticisms, questions going through your head at any one time. That's like the map. And if you're going dating and you're constantly relating on to those thoughts in your head, and you're assuming that that is the way things are, then that can be very tricky in terms of the outcomes you'll get in dating. So it's a really good principle to remember that the map is not the territory. What's going on in your head is not necessarily what's going on in the wide world, particularly when you're dating. Let's take an example of this. Supposing you're about to phone somebody and in your head you're thinking, oh, not really sure how I'm going to come across, not sure whether they're going to like me, they're probably not going to like me. Or maybe you're thinking, I am just the bee's knees for this person and we're going to get on great. That's what you're saying the territory is. But when you call them, it might be a completely different kettle of fish. They might really like you, they might not like you, you might be ringing at the wrong time. All sorts of things might actually happen. That is the territory, not what you think has happened in your mind. Now this is very, very important if you're lacking a bit of confidence, for example, and you've got negative thoughts going on in your head. I know that's common for many of us. We're our worst critics and we are the people that give ourselves the hardest time. If that's you, then this map is not the territory is terribly important. Let's take another example. Perhaps you're going to meet somebody for the first time. You've been talking to them over the phone, you've been emailing them, perhaps you've even written a letter, and you're going to meet them for the first time. And again, in your head, how do I look? Am I looking okay? Am I going to be on time? What am I going to say to them? Will I have enough right conversation? All those things going in your head, and perhaps you're thinking, oh, I'm not very good at making conversation. I'm worried that the conversation is going to dry up. All of that is just stuff going on in your head. It's just the map. Imagine a map that was terribly wrong. So it had rivers in the wrong place and towns in the wrong place. That's what you've got to imagine is going on when you say bad things to yourself and you go on a date. Those bad things that you've said to yourself aren't necessarily true. I don't know if you've seen any films recently, but I saw a great film where there were two young people in it and they were at university together and then they split up, and years later they met and they had a much more sort of adult conversation than they were able to have at the time about why they'd split, and it was very clear that both of them had completely different maps in their heads than what was actually going on. And it was a real shame, because if they had just spoken to each other more openly about what was going on in their hearts, then they would probably stay together. So I hope that's been a useful little vignette of coaching for you, just to say the map is not the territory and to take hold of it, because we want you to be successful in dating. And if you are constantly going by the map and not by the territory, you might be not having the success that perhaps you could have. If you'd like to get in touch with us further, please do give us a ring on 0208 088 3023. That's 0208 088 3023. Thank you very much for listening. Goodbye.